So, who missed yesterday's class? Might be Faisal and who else? Anjali, were you there yesterday? So, what we went through yesterday is we learned how to create an data set using card statement.
Input employment meaning jobs like that. Okay.
So, in the card statement, I'll go through quick for 5 minutes with what we had in the last class, and then we will continue with today's class. So in card statement, what we'll do is we'll give the variable names which we need to create. The variable names will be given in an input statement, and each statement will be ended with a semicolon. And for character variables, dollar symbol will be included. For numeric variables, just the name of the variable will be given. And the data for each observation is inputted in each different line. So here we are creating 4 variables called employee number, employee name, job, salary, and we are creating 5 observations, and the value is created in a library called sample. For this we have created a permanent library called SAS library, sample library in SAS, and EMP dataset is created. So this is the dataset that we created. Similarly, we have also created one more dataset called student with 3 variables. 2 of them are numeric and 1 is character. And we started working on the data. The function.
Kumar, one question. How do you specify the length of the character variables?
It takes the default length. Whatever the first value is given, that will be its length.
So if you need to specify a bigger second value, then how does it work out?
I'll show you in the next step. I didn't discuss that. Now today I'm going to discuss that.
Okay.
You can specify length directly here. Good question, Faisal. So you can specify length here. Otherwise, it will be taking the length of the manager. Let's say what is the manager's length? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? See, it takes defaultly, but input statement does that. But when it there's one more step of creating called data lines, then it won't take. Let me open EMP again and show you. See, manager is 7. Still, it will be taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, still it took defaultly. It will be taking the maximum length.
Okay. Okay.
But in some cases, like data line statement, it won't take. Then you can specify the length here.
So for cards it takes, but data lines you'll have to specify.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So we have also used functions called first OBS, OBS. What is OBS? It takes only 3 observations from the data set.
Okay. First observation, 3, then 3rd. Okay.
It takes the first 3 observations.
Gotcha.
So the OBS is equal to 3 takes first 3 observations, and first OBS is equal to 3. What it does, it takes from the 3rd observation. Yeah, Barbara is the 3rd position. First OBS is equal to 3 and OBS is equal to 6. It takes observations from 3 to 6.
6x.
Yeah. What does drop variable do? Drops the variables which we don't need. Let's say I want to drop agent X. I can use this option. For keep, it's vice versa of drop. So it keeps only the variables which are defined here. And what does rename statement do? It renames the name of the variable. And you can also assign the label. Label is nothing but the attribute for the variable. Let's go to work. Let's see what label is. So salary of the employee, this is the label. These all are variable names. See, these are the variable names, and if I want to see labels, labels are not defined for these 3 variables. So you are seeing variable name, but this is the label name that we have defined. So if I want to keep only numeric variables, I can use an option called underscore numeric underscore. Instead of using each individual name of the variable, you can directly use underscore numeric underscore. It keeps only numeric variables. If you use underscore character underscore, it keeps only the character variable. So what does where option do? By using where option, you can filter the data. Let's go to EMP. See, in EMP dataset, what do we have? Different salaries, right? So if I want to select only particular salary, or if I want to select a range, I can use an option called where salary greater than 1000. So it only selects the employees who has salary greater than 1000. So it won't select this record because this is equal to 1000. So it only selects observations who has salary greater than 1000. Similarly, it only selects where job is salesman, where job is manager, where job is equal to salesman and manager. So when you use both salesman and manager, it selects the first, fourth, and fifth observation. That's the first notes in yesterday's class. Let me close this. So if any numeric variable's value is missing, you have to define it like this. So where commission is null, it only selects the records. Let me run this. I have Scott dataset. I need to select only these two records. Then what I should do, the variable name is commission, and what I'm doing, I'm using where commission is null. So it only selects the observations with that where commission is null. So it only selects the second and third observation. So where this option is vice versa of is not null. What it does, it only selects where it is not missing. Here it selects the salary between 2000 and 5000. Here it selects the observations where salary is not between 2000 and 5000. And here it looks for an observations value where it is starting with yes, where employee name is starting with yes. So how many observations do I have? Scott, and I have only Scott, so it selects that observation. Let me run it and show it to you. EMP.
Rename like S percentage.
Scott and Sam, we have two. So it selects where it is starting with yes. Here what it does, it looks for last character S. So who do we have like that? James. So it selects that record. And what does underscore A does? It looks for A in our job.
Yeah.
So I have manager, and I have also salesman. Here what we are doing, we are multiplying the salary by 5 times and looking for their 5 months which employees 5 months salary is greater than 15,000. So if I go to Scott, multiply all their salaries by 5, and I'm looking for employees who has greater than 15,000 in their 5 month salary. Except this observation, all others will be having. So the first 4 records will be printed. Okay. Then today, from here, it's today's class. So today we'll be discussing first what is do while and do until. So this is the syntax for do while. So do while condition and include all the SAS statements you want to, and every do statements should be ended with an end. Every do statement should be it should be ended with end statement. Once you start a do, it should be closed with an end, and all the SAS statements will be present between the do and end. So we'll be learning about do while, do until, and the regular do statement. So what am I saying? I'm creating a new variable called num. I'm creating a new variable called num, and in that variable, what am I doing? Creating values 1 to 10. So output these observations and end the do statement. Then run it. What is the data set I'm creating? Sample. So let me run this. So what am I doing? Do num is equal to 1 to 10. Okay. And output all the observations and end the statement. So I have printed 10 observations. Here what am I doing?
Number 1 to 10.
Do num is equal to 2 to 10 by 2. So how many observations am I expecting?
5.
5.
So I need to close this.
Do number.
So it will jump from 2 to 4, 4 to 6 because we are using by option here. We are using by option here.
10 to 10.
So how many observations are expected here and what are the values?
4.
4.
And it would be 1, 3, 5, 7,
Yes.
and 9.
Good. One, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Yeah. So let me ask someone. No one, please don't answer. What values am I expecting, Bosky?
By minus 1. 10 to 1, 10 values.
Okay. So what will be my first observation here?
10.
10.
Value of first.
10, 9, 7, 6,
Bosky?
5, 4.
Yes.
Can you answer that? What will be the value of my first observation?
B10.
Okay. Why is it 10 in first place?
This is in descending order.
Yeah,
By minus.
because we are using -1, so the values will be printed from -1.
Descending.
Descending, yes. So there is one more option called misover when we are using data lines. And the variables I'm creating here is ID number, state, and I'm defining length to the variable state here, and also creating variable called population, and I'm including card statement. So what does misover do? Let's run this and first show it to you. See, I have a missing value here, but I haven't defined anything like this, right? I haven't defined anything like this. Still it is taking it because I have used an option called misover. So it considers this as my first observation, then it wraps into the second observation. So even though I didn't have value, that will be taking it. And if you want to define length, you can use like this. You can use this shift and semicolon, then use decimal for the length you need to define, and you can give it.
The space should be there between state and the semi. That
Yes, yeah.
okay.
Such things you can try it after the class if it is working or not.
Okay.
So data new, I'm taking state, drop p and this. What does this do? It drops all the variables which are starting with p. So how many variables do I have starting with p? Only one, right? I have only one variable, so it drops that variable. Let's say I have 10 variables starting with p. It drops all the 10 variables. See, the population has been dropped from our dataset. Why did? Because it started with p. Let's say I dropped it. I define s instead of p. What it does? Which variable will be dropped here? State will be dropped. So even if I have 100 variables starting with yes, all the variables will be dropped. State has been dropped from my dataset. So previously we used rename in the set statement, right? Okay.
Yes.
You can also use it in your data in the data steps. Let me show you how to do that. So previously we used it here, right? Rename option like this. Rename is equal to, yeah.
One question. In the when you specifying the gender, you're specifying the length to be of 8 characters. Top at the input state, you specified the length of state to be of 9 characters, but the syntax use is a little different. Is there any
No, you can use this decimal also, because this is an data line statement and this is a data step.
Okay, and but
you don't need to use this option here.
Okay.
But still you can use this decimal, it doesn't affect.
Okay.
So what am I doing here? I'm creating new variable called gender, and I'm having value. Let me open my class dataset. So what do I have in class? Variable called sex, right? I want to convert the value M as male and F as female in my new variable gender. Why am I defining value to 8? Because I need to, let me run this and show you. I'm dropping it and rename, and again I'm renaming it as sex. So what will be my new variables present in my class dataset? So right now I have these 5 variables. By using this code, what variables are you expecting? By using this code, what variables are you expecting? How many variables are expected in the new dataset called class? Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What are those 5 variables?
Name, sex, age, height, and weight.
Yes, because I am creating new variable called gender, and I'm
dropping one.
I'm dropping sex, and then I am renaming it. Until unless you drop sex, you can't rename it because you already has a variable called sex, right? So you can't drop it until unless you do that. So why am I doing that? Because if I need to change the length of the variable, because there is already length assigned to variable called sex. What was the length assigned to variable sex? 1. So if I need to change the length given, I need to rename it first or I need to create a new variable and then change the length.
We can't change the length to the original variable.
No, until unless you create it as a new variable. Because when you try doing that, let me show you. Let me run this first and open this. Work. See, new variable is created, right? So if I haven't changed the variable name, and I just had this variable name as sex, okay, and I want to change this sex is equal to male, else sex is equal to female, and I'm not doing all these steps. Let's see what happens. Okay. Normally it shouldn't take it. What we did.
Actually, you define the length for the sex. That's why it is taking.
No. Yes, but still, in some cases there will be error saying the length is not acceptable because there is already a specific length assigned to the dataset. That there will be a warning message. I'll show you when we got something like that. So if I haven't defined any length, what will be happening?
Default length of 32 characters.
It is taking male because our first value is male, right? Then gender is equal to male, right? So it is defaultly taking this length. So it's always good practice when you're giving some data. You can even include 200, it doesn't matter, right? So there might be some value bigger than female sometimes, not in this case but in some other case. So always try to give more length. You can use length statement before set, or you can also use in data lines. Okay.
So this if and else statement should be in one line.
No, even it can be also wrapped here, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Until if you ended with an semicolon, that's it, statement is done. You can include everything here itself, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So as considered here, the statement has been ended.
Okay.
Or you can also use rename statement instead of here. You can use it here also. Rename is equal to, you can use old name and new name here. You can use it in either set statement, or you can use it in data statement, or you can use it in SAS statements. Any option you can use like that. Even drop option, you can use it in set statement, or you can use it in data statement, or you can use it in or regular statements. If you are using in set or data statement, you should include it in brackets.
Okay.
So now we will be learning about what is a DSD, delimiter, DLMSTR, and DLMSOPT, and some more about misover, flowover, and stopover, trunkover, and scanover functions. And I have some more examples for do, while, until, leave, and continue. So what is an DSD? DSD is nothing but delimiter sensitive data. So what do we have in our previous data line statement? We have a space as delimiter, right?
Yeah.
So after the space, the value will be taken into new variable.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now what I want to do, in file data lines, okay, and I have included an option called DST.
DST.
So what it does, and the variables I'm creating is X, Y, Z. So data lines, even you can use same, it's like same like cards, but here what you'll be doing, you'll be including one more statement called in file. What did we do when we are doing card statement? Okay, we did in file. Instead of cards, we are using here data lines. It does the same thing, but I have a, instead of space, I have comma. So I want to take out this comma. If it is space, automatically space will be taken as delimiter, but if there is comma, I need to use an option called DSD. So then what values are printed in my X, Y, and Z in the first observation?
2, 3.
2 and 3.
So what will be my value for X in,
2 and 3.
2 and 3
okay, what is the value for variable X?
is nothing.
Yeah,
It
it's
will be
null.
null, sir.
Yeah. So let me run this. So
Yes,
the
null.
value is null. So how it took my delimiter as comma, because I have used an option called
DST.
DST. So you have to
For
use
this,
any
at the
options.
end, you don't need to write run.
That's fine. It takes it here. Even you can use it. It doesn't affect.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I want to use any other masking factors, like let's go to the below example. I'm using option called DSD. Okay. And I'm using delimiter is equal to AB. So the variables I'm creating is XYZ, and I'm using data lines. I want to mask this. I want to mask A and B, and I want my values in X as 1, and the value in Y should be 2, and the value in Z should be 3. Okay.
Yeah, but why did we do AA after 1? It should be AB, right?
No, it doesn't matter. It masks any values. I'm saying anything
Oh,
works. AA works, or AB works, or
oh,
E
so
works, or just A works. So it searches for each separate character. It searches for A and takes out A. It searches for B and takes out B.
hmm.
Let me run this. So why I have missing here and here? 1, 2, and 3. It searches, but still it only exactly searches for AB. So even if it has A and A, it gives this value as missing because it is not exact value like AB.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because we
Yeah,
are putting in the code, so it should
yeah,
put
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Okay.
And it is also case sensitive again. Whenever you are inputting any value in the codes, that is case sensitive. Let's say I'm doing like this. See, it is also case sensitive. So it took only the first one, this one, and these values. So it prints some improper values when you do something like this. So further, there is one more option called DLM SOPT. So if you want to use a string as delimiter, specify the delimiter values with the DLM str option, okay? And in this example, what we'll be learning is, suppose let's say I have an mixed values like this, P or D or some like this, or different formats, like even if I have uppercase or lowercase, it takes it. Let me show the option for you. Data test in file data line DST, and I'm using DLM str instead of delimiter AB. I'm using DLM str called PRD and DLM SOPT I. So the delimiter is case sensitive. To make the delimiter case insensitive, use the option DLM SOPT I. So X, Y, and Z data lines. Here I have all uppercase, and here I have two uppercase and one lowercase. So different scenarios. So what are the values expected in my X, Y, and Z now? For the first observation.
1 to 3. 1 to 3.
Yes.
5.
Then 4, 5, 6, and 7. Last observation 7, 8, 9.
Yes. So it considers all cases, either it is uppercase or lowercase, and it filters the data accordingly. So I'm creating one more data set called scores. In file data lines is equal to DST. And I'm creating 4 variables: name, and I'm defining certain length, variable called score, that is numeric variable, and team is character variable, and div is character variable. I have values like this. So the name is Joseph, and his score is 76, and his team is Red Racers. Team name is Red Racers, and he belongs to Washington. So I want to input this entire value into variable called team. So here I can use DSD. So it considers comma as delimiter. When there is comma between double inverted quotes or single inverted quotes, it won't take it, and it will print it as one value. Similarly, I have Mitchell. She belongs to Blue Bunnies, Richmond, Sue Ellen, Green, Gazeless, Atlanta. Let us run this. So it only takes comma as my delimiter, and which is not in inverted quotes. So even I have comma between here, it won't take it because that is present between inverted commas. Now we'll be going through misover. I think we already had here, right? Yeah, same thing. So in file data lines misover, any option you'll be giving only in file statement. It might be delimiter or DLMSOPT or DLMSTR or DSD. All those options will be given in file statement. So how many variables am I creating here? 5 variables, temp1 to temp5. So it creates temp1, temp2, temp3, temp4, and temp5. You can also give like this instead of giving temp2, temp3, and temp4. So data lines. In the first observation, I'm using 3 values. Temp1 will be 97.9, temp2 will be 98.1, and temp3 will be 98.3. So this will be my second observation and third observation. So what's the new data set we are creating? Weather. So I have missing here. So it considers each line as one observation, and it takes the missovers and gives missing value.
So the delimiter is here is
Space.
space. Okay.
Yeah, that's why we haven't used any option called DST, because we don't have any commas or something
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Same thing, flow over. What it does, it won't consider the missing values. This will be my next value. This will be my next value. It prints improper results when I use flow over. All you need to know is just remember this option if you have question and based as certification exam or something like that, but these options won't be much used in real time. So what is my result expected here? How many observations are expected here?
3.
For flow over.
I don't know
Yes.
what is flow.
5 observation, it will go to the second line too.
Only 2 observations are expected.
Why?
Let me show you.
Because
So
it will be
it
it will
takes
take the other observation to finish.
it takes from here to here as first observation.
Oh.
Then it won't count these.
5.
Then it will go here again. It wraps into the next line. So
Hmm.
it flows till here, and when starting again, it starts here. So it prints some improper result which we are not expecting,
Why is that the case?
because it flows from here to here and it takes here, but it doesn't start again here in the middle of the statement. It goes to here.
No, help me
Yeah,
understand.
don't
So
worry
we
about much of these.
Critical things.
What? Sorry. So stopover. So if there is something like this, we are saying stopover. Nothing is created, but okay, let me close this first.
Yes, error.
See, input statement exceeded record length, in-file card option stopover specified. So when there is some improper thing like that, it will stop the statement and won't print the dataset. So you can see for that warning and errors in the log file. Don't worry about this. Okay, we'll go for do while statements once again. So I'm using n is equal to 1. Here we are using while, do while n is equal to less than or equal to 10. So it goes till 10. It continues till 10. Output n is equal to n plus 1. So it increases by one number because n is defined as 1, right? So the first value will be 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So on. It continues. Sample. So n is equal to, did I open the wrong data set? Sample 1.
refresh.
So it increases by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what we are doing, we are taking n as 1 and increasing by 1. And where are we doing it till where it stops when it looks for 10?
Yeah.
So until. What does do until do? It looks for 11 and it stops there. When will be it greater than 10? When it finds a value called 11, it will stop before 11. So it will be stopping at the same place then. Sample 2. When it looks for 11, it stops there. So it won't go for 11. So it goes only till 10. So do while greater than or equal to. So it goes till 10. Even if you give here n greater than or equal to 10, still it does the same thing. Do until, right? So still it goes for 10. N is equal to n plus 1. So here what we did, it printed only 9 because it also looks for 10. If it is equal to also, it stops the statement. So here we are doing printing 1 to 10. If n is equal to 7, then leave. Then what happens? It won't print values from 7. It leaves all the values from 7. So what we are trying to create, we are trying to create observation values from 1 to 10. And if n is equal to 7, then leave. Transfer the control outside the loop, output, and run. Here what will happen, if n is equal to 7, then continue. What is expected here?
1 to 10.
One to 10.
From 7 to 10.
Except 7, everything will be printed. If n is equal to 7, that indicates just leave the 7 and continue it.
Okay.
It's for the loop command, sir.
What? Hello?
So I have to know the definition of loop.
Loop means these two do to n statements are called loop statements. Do loops.
Yeah.
These are called as loops. So each observation is considered as one loop. So it is going from 1 to 2. So it's going from one loop to the second loop and going from second loop to the third loop. So if n is equal to 7, then it is leaving and then continuing.
We are missing the semicolon. So in if a statement, we don't have to write the semicolon.
No, because statement ends here. This is one statement, right? If n is equal to 7, then continue.
Yeah, so we already wrote here leave. That's why you have to leave.
Yes.
68. Okay.
Yeah, it's stopping there. So basically these options will not be used much in real scenario, but for basis certification, you need to know these options, but you might be creating some dummy data using this. You'll be using do loops, but not this leave and continue. So like we did in previous notes, do 1 to 10, such kind of small things will be used, but not these leave and continues. But you need to know these options.
Yes.
Don't worry about this. Suppose if I want to select only 4 numbers from this data, I can do that. Don't worry about this. You won't be using this. So what did we learn now? We learned an option called DSD. What is it used for?
Comma.
Delimiter sensitive. Delimiter sensitive.
It is used to select my delimiter as comma. So we have one more option called delimiter. There I can specify the value which I want to mask, and this is in case sensitive. So if you want to select in case sensitive values, you can use options called DLMSTR and DLMSOPT. Both of these should be used together. So where did we use that? Here. DLMSTR is equal to, we should give the value which need to be selected, and what does this I do?
It's not case sensitive.
Yeah, this is when you are using this DLMSOPT, it won't be case sensitive. Both of these options should be used together. And DSD only masks the commas which are present in regular statement, not in the inverted commas or not in double inverted quotes. So we also use miss over, flow over, and stop over. Flow over prints improper values, but what does stop over do? If there is some missing values or something like that, it ends the statement. It won't create an data set. So we also learned what is do until, what is do while, what is leave and continue. Any questions, guys, in this?
So are we gonna use these things a lot, flow over and stop over?
No, you won't be using much of this, but you should know those options.
Okay.
Don't concentrate on too much on flow or stopover. Concentrate on do loops and keep, drop, or all the basic functions like OBS.
Okay.
We'll be having a lot of functions yet. These all are called dataset options. We'll be having a lot of the functions we'll be learning in coming classes.
Okay.
We'll have a break for 5 minutes, guys, and we'll join again after 5 minutes.
Okay. Thanks.
So I created new folder called test folder on my desktop. There is nothing present here for now, and it is an empty folder. So let me copy this, and I'm writing one more name statement called test. I want to bring this test library into my work environment and paste the path between inverted commas. So right now I have only input and all these other libraries, and I don't have test library. So I want to create new library called test. So test is created. There is no data sets in test because we don't have any data sets in test created, right? The folder is empty, right? So if there are any data sets present here,
It could come, yeah.
yeah.
Sir, I understand. And now I have to paste this link in the editor
editor window, yes.
editor window, and as much as I want to input, I can do it. Like now, I have in desktop, I have a file. Name is training, and this is empty.
Okay.
Now what I'm going to do? There's a path here. So for training is C user Tariq desktop training.
Just copy and paste it. That's all, Tarak. Yeah. Just copy and paste it. You don't need to type in it. Yeah. Just copy the paste path.
Yeah, I did the copy paste, and it created. It shows in my library, but when I use that library to
name
data set, it says the library doesn't exist. I don't know why.
No, it should exist because you are creating library, and you can output any data sets you want to output into here.
That, yeah, but I don't know. Not
yeah, so I don't have to press. I copy already and paste, and I don't have to press submit or run. Just it will come automatically.
No, you need to run any program, Tarak.
I have to run. Okay.
Yes, without running, nothing will be outputted.
Yeah, it came. Training came now.
Okay, then we'll continue with today's class. If anyone has problem, just try doing that. That's the only way. You need to run it once any program, you should run it.
So is it a training folder is a temporary folder, permanent folder?
That's anything libraries you created on your desktop will be permanent.
Anything in the log window, I do it, it will save in the desktop training. Okay,
Not in the log window. Anything you give libname and save it on your desktop, that will be a permanent library. That's what I said in the first class.
Okay.
Yeah, and installing the SaaS software, what did you say? It shouldn't be taking longer?
Yeah, it should. If it is an i5 processor or i7 processor for your laptop, it should hardly take 20 to 30 minutes, less than that sometimes. It should take 20 to 30 minutes.
It depends on the
Was anyone able to download from the link I sent? Did anyone download it?
Yes, sir, I did it. 8.1415 gigabyte.
So it installed good?
Yes, everything is okay.
So that's the way everyone can first save a copy, save a zip file on your desktop like this and go
Yeah, I
to
extracted
first CD.
it. Was
Yeah, you should extract it if it is unzip file. And go to setup and start installing, because unless you install, you can't work on any of these codes which I sent you.
So you have to save on your desktop first, or first you have to double click to install?
No, you have to save the zip file on your desktop and extract the files, then start with the setup.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I was doing from the Google Doc. I clicked and it went to Google Doc, and from there it was downloading.
Okay. So we'll be learning now how to create multiple data sets using data lines. So I'm creating two data sets called males and females. And the variables I'm creating in both data sets is employee number, employee name, and gender. I'm muting everyone. If anyone has questions, you can unmute yourself and ask me. Okay. So what is the value I am inputting in the observations? 101 Scott male, 102 gender male, James male, and 103 Kelly female, 104 Wills male, and 105 Rosie female. Run. So what are the three variables? Employee number, name, and gender. And what am I doing? I'm using if condition. If gender is equal to male, if gender is equal to M, so these ones, then output males. So output into dataset called males, else otherwise output into females. So two datasets are created, and in the two datasets, these records will be printed accordingly defined here. So how many observations are expected in males and how many observations are expected in females? How many observations are expected in males and how many in females?
Two females.
Yes, so let us run this. So you can create multiple data sets in one data line step also. So this is the way of creating multiple data sets. Okay. So there is an option called double trailing operator. So what it does? So I'm creating new data set called gender, and the new variables I'm creating is employee number, employee name, and sex. So two of these are character variables and employee number is a numeric variable. And what are these double trailing operators doing? Ampersands. Let us look. So I'm using my cards. I'm inputting the data called 101 Scott mail, 102 James mail. Normally it should be in a second line, right? If you're creating this, because each line is considered as one observation. But when you use these double trailing operators, the values will be continued. So first it looks for employee number 101, then it looks for employee name called Scott, and then it goes for sex. And in the next value again goes to employee number. So you don't need to split the lines like this. You don't need to do it like this. So still, if the data is like this, it gets printed. Let us run this. See, still we have 5 observations here. So what was the operator used? Double trailing operator call. You need to use double ampersand for that. So it considers each value as value for one observation, and it continues. Once it finds sex, then it again goes for employee number. So it repeats, the loop repeats.
Okay, so basically if all the data is in one line, it will take, right?
Yeah, it will create different observations.
Yeah, okay. So we don't have to specify in 3 lines here, like we can do all the data.
You don't need to specify something like this. It can be in a single line. So now I'm creating 4 more variables in the EMP dataset. Run. Okay. I'm creating this because I want to use this dataset in the below example. There is one more statement called put statement. What it does, it prints into log. If you want to see any values in the log, previously only it prints what is going on, right? If you want to print the data values, you can use this again. So what am I saying? Take the data set EMP. Okay, it takes this data set. It selects this data set called EMP, which contains 4 variables and 5 observations, and put employee number, employee name, and salary. Let us run this. What happens? See, these 3 variables are printed in the log, right? Employee number, employee name, and salary is printed. Why only 3 variables are printed? We used keep and we used put, right? We used only put for 3 variables. So put employee number, employee name, and salary. If you don't want to open the data set and if you want to see something in the window, just you can do this. You can use put. And right now you can see just one space as delimiter, right? There is only one space between each value of different variable. Let's say I want to define certain length for each variable, so there will be certain space between each variable. See, the space which is defined will be printed here. Let's say here 1 2 3 4, so space will be created. It won't be according to particular space, but there will be space created. Any questions, guys, still here?
Sir, is it that the sign after put is ampersand? It don't seems like ampersand. You said it's ampersand, but
Yes, it's shift and 2.
shift and 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to save it in as an txt file or something, you can do that. Let's copy this path and do that. So instead of printing it in log, if I want to save it in an txt file, so you can either print it. What happens when you print it? It shows in an output window. We haven't done anything till now like that, right? So it prints the data in the output window. See, it came into results window also. It printed here. So what we did that we used file print, and it also prints in the log. What is going on? 5 lines were written into file print. There were 5 observations read from dataset work.emp. If you want to print it in somewhere in C drive, if you want to print it somewhere in C drive, I want to print it here. I don't have any files right now, right? So it's printed. So it is saved in a permanent library now. Even if I close my SAS environment, the data will be saved here. So if you want to save some temporary data or something in a txt file, so attach the path is attached, and what was the file name you want to give it? The file name I have given is emp. So the file name is given, and attached .txt file is printed, or I think you can also print .rtf. So RTF file is printed. See, and Word document is created. So you can either print an RTF file, or either you can print an txt file. Same data is saved. Any questions?
Can you explain the put once more? Like, what does put do?
What does put does is put prints the values. I mean, if you don't give any statement, if you have just defined it like this, it will be printing the value in the log. Okay.
But the imp we have there, it's not setting in the imp.
No, it's creating in the imp, and it is also printing it in the log.
It's at the same time.
Yeah, see, emp1 is created, emp2 is also created, right?
Okay.
So if you want to print it in an output window or results window, it also prints there.
Okay.
And if you want to print somewhere in your C drive, it also does that.
Okay.
You can either print an RTF file, or even you can print a PDF file if you want.
But first you have to assign the file, and then you have to do put statement. So
Yeah.
it will. Okay.
So
and
it
we
also
can,
printed an PDF file.
Okay, so but we can skip that keep line, right? The imp keep. We can just directly do the put, or no?
Yeah, we can directly input, because I want to print only 3 values. That's why I have included keep statement.
Okay.
So all you need to do is you need to attach your path here, and then the file name you want to print it as, and either PDF or RTF or whatever you want to print.
Okay.
Either you can print PDF or an RTF or an TXT. Any questions, guys? If you have no questions, we'll end the session. So I'll wait for a couple of more minutes. Please try to install the SAS software by next class. Is everyone available on Tuesday for taking next class instead of Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday is fine.
No, instead of Wednesday, I want to take class on Tuesday. Is that fine with everyone? Same timing though, 7:30.
Yes. Yeah, it's okay, fine.
That would be a bit tight for me. Can we do it around 9?
Yeah, I will let you know, Faisal. 9 will be too. How about others?
I'm fine.
Fine.
Even 9 p.m. EST is fine for everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll send you an email to everyone when will be. It will be on Tuesday around 7:30 or 9 p.m. Okay.
Okay.
I'll confirm. If anyone has concerns, email me.
Okay.
But install SaaS software by next class. If you have some problems, you can contact with other people who has installed.
So we can like if I have any problem, can I call you?
Try to call with the other people who has installed because I'll be working from tomorrow again Monday.
So, but I don't have anybody.
Yeah, you
else.
can talk to Harika and I think Tarak. You installed it, right?
Okay, so I'll talk to Harika.
Yeah, you'll talk to Harika and try to find Tarak's number. Or Tarak, can you talk?
He's muted.
Yeah. Hi, Tarak.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you try helping others with the
Yeah,
installation?
my number. Sure, sir. No problem. Sure.
Yeah.
Can I have your number?
Yeah, 631.
Okay.
631 805
Okay.
0104.
Okay. Thank you.
If you still had problems,
Sir.
I'll discuss in the next class. Okay.
I understand, sir. Is it possible we can get your recording? Like I got you all the data, your paper, but I didn't get the recording. You can send us recording after session.